Started as an East Coast vibe, now I'm going worldwide. We got this bitch going crazy. I used to take the Mazda for a drive, now I'm on the 405 like it's fuck you, pay me. We really sick of standing outside, had to push them all aside. It's what you get for trying to play me. I bet they make a movie when...
Well, hello out there, great mans and great YouTube people. How are we doing tonight? We are the MCU's Bleeding Edge, and we are here live Wednesday night to discuss Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 2. So, if you're not aware, this is technically considered Chapter 18 in the Mandalorian series, but Episode 2 of the third season. So, we're here tonight with an interesting panel, and we're just going to have a lot of fun with this. It's nice to have the great Gunnar back. Welcome, Gunnar. How are we doing?
Excellent, excellent. Glad to be here.
Gunnar! Gunner's here. We, of course, have returning Miss Jasmine. How are we doing, Jasmine?
I'm wonderful.
Excellent, excellent. And there was Chloe Zhao there for you guys that were looking for Chloe Zhao.
Mandalorian alum, Chloe Zhao.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes.
Well, Jasmine's a star, baby, so she should get an Oscar too.
Did you hear that, Jasmine? You deserve an Oscar.
She is a dork.
And of course, we have joining us also is Mr. Rich. How we doing, Rich?
I'm doing well. How are you? Happy to be here.
Good. Excellent. Glad to have you. And I believe this is the first time I've worked with you, but have you been on the MCU's Bleeding Edge before?
Kind of. We had some technical issues, so I had to jump out.
Okay, awesome. All right, so you have. All right. Excellent, excellent. Of course, then I have my wonderful co-host, Mr. Jeff S. TrueKnowledge. How we doing, Jeff?
That's it right there, baby. You know
Jar
it.
Jar. I guess he feels like he's Jar Jar tonight, people.
I couldn't decide if I wanted to rock my Mando shirt or my fucking Jar Jar shirt tonight, man. I didn't know which one to go. Jar Jar is always my number one pick.
Okay. Okay. Well, he is Star Wars, so that would be considered Star Wars, so we are good with that.
And I was going to wear my outfit tonight, brother, but I still don't have my gaffy stick.
He doesn't have his gappy stick, people. Waiting on that gappy stick. In pursuit for it. He finds it soon. All right. All right. So, to start off this wonderful episode, let's just go around the table here real quick and just get everybody's kind of input. And overall, what were your thoughts going into this episode? Going off of the end of the last episode, what were you expecting? And, was it what you expected it to be overall? Starting with you, Jasmine.
Actually, this episode was exactly what I expect from a Mandalorian season. It was very entertaining, and Grogu is there, so I'm really entertained. It was a really wonderfully written and directed episode.
All right. Excellent. Excellent. How about you, Rich? What were your thoughts going into this episode?
Well, I liked it a lot better than the first episode. I thought the second episode was actually moving somewhere. I thought there was pod racing in the beginning. I got really excited. And then Grogu did some flips, and that was pretty cool. So overall, I thought it was a pretty good episode overall. I thought it was enjoyable, a lot more than the last one.
Excellent, excellent. All right, Gunnar, same question, sir.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this episode. I was just a little surprised that they made it to Mandalore in Episode 2. I thought that was kind of going to be the big season chase that, they were the season was going to be them trying to hunt down the part to fix IG-11, and then at the end they get IG-11 and go to Mandalore. So I was kind of surprised when he just kind of abandoned IG-11 to said, yeah, we'll just go with R5 instead. But great episode, loved it.
Excellent, excellent. And same question to you, Jeff. What was your thoughts going into this episode, sir?
Dodger, what were your thoughts on the episode, buddy? Cheese? Okay, you can have some cheese. There you go. Josh doesn't actually ever come over to greet me to hang out with me. He just wants some fucking cheese, baby. You know what I'm saying? Who doesn't? But no, I mean, I thought it was dope as hell. Just like the first episode was dope as hell. I mean, I got no complaints, man. Good pacing as always. Friggin' the only thing I didn't like about some of the Mandalore scenes, especially when they went lower down into the core of the planet, was how dark it got. I couldn't make out some of the action scenes, especially when I forget her actual Star Wars character name, but when Starbuck, went down and to save Mando. I couldn't make out some of the action scenes with her and the droid, or whatever that fucking thing was. I couldn't even figure out what the whole deal was with that thing, that big one. So the only thing I loved it. The only thing I didn't understand was basically just the big droid. I really wasn't sure what its function was. If it just was like some kind of actual robot that was supposed to like clean up or something like that or whatever, and it just was like faulty. If it was a defense mechanism, I really wasn't sure what the deal was with that.
I think it was a body that the creature, the eyeball creature, that was like his body that he would move between the different bodies.
Right. Oh, that's perfect. Got a perfect setup for Leech over here. As he pops in, you describe him as like some fucking eyeball dude or whatever.
Yeah, it was weird. It was like a small creature inside of a bigger thing inside a bigger thing. It was like a mechanical spider or something like that. Almost, it reminded me of like a General Grievous from the prequels, But yeah, maybe we'll find out at some point, what that creature was.
By the way, Cyber, this is Jason Leach. You never met him before, I don't believe.
Hey, brother.
He comes over from DJ. He's over from DayGB Productions.
Okay. Excellent. Great to have you.
Hey, thank you. Thanks for having me. Yeah, I'm a huge Star Wars fan, so whenever you guys want to talk Star Wars, I'm down.
Excellent. So you just came in. We were asking just everyone's thoughts going into this episode. What were your thoughts going into it, and what were your thoughts there?
Okay, I will be completely honest. I was very, very disappointed by the first episode of this season. Mm-hmm. The corny one-liner really turned me off to the whole thing. About that. That's using your head. Sounded like a Schwarzenegger movie from the 80s. So I was a little hesitant going into this episode, but I give this episode like a 9.5 out of a 10. It was awesome. The only reason it's not a 10 out of 10 is because I can't stand that character of the woman who works on Tatooine. I think she's a terrible.
Oh man,
character.
are you kidding me? Oh man,
everybody loves her, but I just you don't need comic relief in the Mandalorian. You know what I mean? But yeah, I was really impressed, and I think it laid the groundwork for where this series is going. Like I was talking to my kids about, because we just watched it a second time. But there's some foreshadowing in there. Like Bo-Katan was reading that plaque and was talking about how if whoever could tame that creature, and Grogu is going to tame it. Bo-Katan is now reinvigorated into rebuilding Mandalore. And obviously the Mandalorian has the dark saber. So it's like, it just, it looks like it's all going to come together real sweet.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah, man.
Shout out to Jocelyn in the comments there. Hi, Jaws. How you doing? And welcome to the episode. Thank you for stopping in our comment section. We always appreciate your comments. All right. So basically, the episode starts off interestingly, I thought. Basically, like as Leach had mentioned there, Rich. Thinking that there was like the pod race chasing scene going on there. That's what I was thinking too when the sequence first started too. When we saw those speeders kind of racing, we thought they were racing, because we definitely start off in Tatooine there, and we end up going, to of course Amy Sedaris's character, who a whole bunch of people like her. Some people I know hate her. Some people think she's okay. I mean, she's definitely an interesting character that they keep, returning to, which I think is fun to an extent. It can get a little crazy, a little too humorous sometimes. But at the same time, I think that she has a pretty dry sense of humor, so it doesn't always, I feel, come across as super funny. It's more kind of like, oh, okay. But anyway, so we come across Amy Sedaris again, back at her little chateau, as I like to call it, where she fixes stuff, and we have her having a conversation with somebody from Tatooine about fixing their pod chaser or their ship, or whatever it is, and basically saying that, you know, she's got to order parts for him and stuff like that, and basically she gets him to agree to buy the parts from her, and then we end up finding out that she was using the Jawas to strip the parts off of it to make money in Tatooine while it's a slow season. And I thought that was kind of interesting that they had that kind of going on there in that beginning sequence. And as that happens, as she's like getting done with the Jawas, that's when the Mandalorian pops up and has landed and is trying to look for that piece that he needs for the droid that he wants to use to be able to check to see if Mandalore is toxic or not. And so, of course, you know, she asked the Jawas if they could find that, and she's like, no. And basically, she talks him into taking RD54 or R5D4. R5D4. And basically, he's an ACER droid, very similar to what R2D2 is and the other droids we've seen throughout the different Star Wars films. And basically, she sweets talks, you know, Mando to taking R5D4, which I think is pretty funny. And so before we move on past that, before he takes his adventure farther, I want to get your guys' thoughts on that beginning intro. And just kind of what your thoughts were on that whole sequence and kind of that, you know, did anybody else think that there was going to be a pod racing scene? What did you think about them going directly to Tatooine at the beginning of this episode, and just your overall thoughts on that little beginning scene with Amy Sedaris' character, RD54, and kind of that whole situation? Let's start with you, Rich.
Yeah, well, again, major letdown. I was really getting pumped for pod racing. I said, really? We're going there?
Same.
I got really excited. Then, you know, when we came to the main story, I'm like, okay, all right, this is how we're gonna, you know. And I like the Mandalorian for doing things like that, having Jawas, and every now and then having these like little, not going too investing in all these things, but having these little like winks and nods. I like, and I like Amy Sedaris' character. You know, I don't dislike her. I can understand why people dislike her character, though. It can get a little grating. It's a little annoying sometimes. But, you know, she's a familiar face, and I'm happy to see her again. And again, like I mentioned before with Grogu, like flipping all over the place. You know, that never gets tiresome, seeing Grogu or Yoda flipping around. But otherwise, it was a fine enough setup to get us to where we were going to go. And so I was engaged with their conversation, you know, so I thought it was pretty good. I was into it.
Excellent. Thank you. Gunnar, same question, sir.
Yeah, I loved it. I like Peli as well, and there's great continuity. If you remember in Book of Boba Fett, when she flies off that little machine, she spit a tooth out.
Missing tooth, yeah.
And in this episode, she's missing the tooth. So that was a great callback to Boba Fett. I loved R5D4. I love this character that we've seen so much, and it's such an important role in the original trilogy. I love seeing them giving this character personality traits, is kind of nervous and scared. And it's funny, I don't know how many of you guys are EU readers, but there was a comic series called Tales, and there was a story how R5D4 was Skippy the Jedi droid. And it's just kind of like how different Skippy the Jedi droid was from this character. And I like seeing droids with personality. And I also like seeing Din open up. I mean, I think a lot of things people aren't talking about is the reason he went to go get IG-11. If you remember from the first season, he hates droids. He wants nothing to do with droids. The only droid he trusts is IG-11 because of how he sacrificed himself. So it's kind of cool seeing Din kind of open up with another droid. So
most certainly. Thank you. Jasmine, same question, please.
She fall asleep.
Jasmine, are you there?
I'm here. Sorry, the mic wasn't turned on. Honestly, I agree. I think the fact that he is more open to droids is amazing. I think it's actually quite amusing just seeing his repartee with people around him now. It seems that he can understand sarcasm, and especially with the mechanic, because she's a very sarcastic woman. And sly. At least he's not stupid to fall for her tricks, especially when she's, pawning off people's machinery while they're just to get some extra bucks. I did like seeing I believe they're not Ewoks, are they? The
Jawas.
glowing the Jawas.
Jawas.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I love them, and seeing them waddle around makes me so happy. I just kind of wish they talked. That would have been really fun for me.
Or at least have
Baby
a
Yoda
translation.
is so cute. Huh?
At least have a translation down the bottom of the screen to see what they're
Right.
saying.
Because they seem like the type to talk back, and the only person I've known in the Star Wars universe to ever understand them and give them a quip back is Obi-Wan.
Mm-hmm.
And Pelly speaks Jawas or whatever.
So
she slept with a Jawa
I'm
too.
pretty amused with them as a character, and just their comebacks are particularly funny because even though you can't understand them, they're talking shit. It reminds me of R2D2.
Yeah.
That's the really cool thing about being a Tuscan translator. If you can learn Sand People language, you can learn any fucking language. You know everything at that point.
True.
Didn't you
But
say
pretty
you were
much
fluent?
that's what I noticed outside of Baby Yoda, Grogu talking a little bit here and there throughout this episode in general. You get a little bit of clearer baby talk.
Yeah. I definitely feel that by the end of the season, we're going to hear him actually talk.
If he said daddy, I'll cry.
Right?
But that's pretty much what I've been paying attention in the beginning of the episode, was a lot of the humanization of Den as a character, and just seeing how much growth he's had through the Book of Boba Fett and the Mandalorian seasons 1 and 2. He's grown as a character, and even though we can't see his face, you can feel it through the voice, and I love it.
Yeah.
Most definitely. Thank you. Jason, same question, sir.
All right. I didn't think we were going to see a pod race, but it was very reminiscent, that opening scene, of the whole Boonta Eve classic. And then when and I forget the character's name, I'm sorry, the woman I don't like, but she happened to mention that it was Boonta Eve, which is actually a celebration or a holiday, whereas I never put 2 and 2 together. Boonta Eve Classic was the pod race, for all intents and purposes. So, adding a little bit of legend to that. Also, the thing with her character that I'm not huge on is okay, if anybody screwed over the Mandalorian as much as she has, taking his money and giving him BS and not following through on anything, he'd have killed. If it was a guy, he'd have killed him by now. But here she is, and he keeps going back to her. Hey, what can you do this? And then she's gonna dick him again, and all this other stuff. So, like I said, I'm not a huge fan of hers, but yeah, the callback to episode 1 was really cool.
Excellent, thank you. Mm-hmm. All right, and Jeff, same question, sir. Your thoughts?
Oh, perfect. I love it when I'm right in the middle of halfway through a banner and I've got to talk. No, I'm just kidding. That when they make these banners, if I have to X out of them at all, I lose them. But I think it's an interesting contrast, honestly. Now that we got Andor, I actually have something to compare the Mandalorian to in some positive way. So, at that point, I think it's interesting how, there is at least some kind of humor in this series. There is at least some gags and whatnot and some lightheartedness. Andor was so serious, and like you know,
Yeah.
it just got more serious and more serious and more serious and like more emotional and like more like dark, almost like you know what I'm saying. That it's nice to see that contrast, I guess, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to see Star Wars. I'm Andor opened the door for me to want to become more of a Star Wars fan, but I don't want to see every Star Wars release be of that nature, right? Like I don't want that. You know, I just want a Jar Jar Binks solo Disney Plus series as soon as possible.
How dare you, sir?
There you go. And why the fuck you guys would want a pod race? I have no idea. After the one in Boba Fett, I want to see another one. I mean, I'm afraid to even see a pod race after that Boba Fett episode. That shit was like living in a clown world. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, seriously, that was horrible. I mean, you know what I'm saying? If not for the Tuskens, you know, saving the show, that pod race alone might have made that shit extinct. I apologize. No. I don't know. I don't care for that freaking character either. But I get why Jin messes with her, because he's very goal orientated. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, he don't play around, and he knows that like she's full of shit and that she, you know, I mean, look, everybody kind of like on these like outer rim like planets like Tatooine, everybody kind of like hustles a little bit, right? That's part of the deal. That's how you do business there, whatnot, right? Unless you're a Tusken.
True, yeah. I mean, the whole planet is seedy, you know.
Yeah, unless you're the Tusken, then you just get screwed over in every deal. You know what I mean? But like, no, but I mean, at that point, like, I mean, she's really not dangerous to him, right? Plus, you know, she has a bond with Baby Yoda, and I think that means something to him. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, he's so important to her, to Mando, that I think that means something to him too. That you know that he can feel comfortable with her, that you know, with him leaping into her arms, everything and whatnot, and all that, right? And the fact that he like was going to utter his first word with her says a lot. I was hoping his first word would be "fuck," personally. You know what I'm saying? And I want to have a scene where they catch Baby Yoda jacking off. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, he's over there in his pod just jerking. You know what I mean?
Jerking,
but like, getting after it. I'm waiting for that scene. But either way, you know, no, I thought she was funny. I did. I really thought she was funny. Maybe she hasn't been as funny in other episodes, but in this one, I thought she was hilarious. Every single thing she said, every little joke she made, I was dying over it. I really did. I was dying. I loved it. Yeah, I mean, it was a great start. It really was. The energy of the episodes they flow so quickly from scene to scene. It's just like jump. They just jump, right? Like, I mean, you know, bam, 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 and then you're on to the next part and everything and whatnot. There's no dead time. So it's very easy to be entertained by these episodes, by this series. That's why, like, I was able to like, you know, run right through the seasons 1 and 2 and just binge them. You know, but no, great opening. Yeah, I think Mando's really intelligent. He's a smart guy, and he's very goal orientated. And he basically sees her as a lesser of two evils, right? He knows he's going to get, you know, screwed around over here and there with her and whatnot, but he ain't about money anyway. He's about the code.
Right. Yeah.
I think you made a really good point too, because I mean, for one episode, she actually babysat Grogu. So like, you know, so it's like, it's more than just that. I mean, he trusts essentially his son with her. So, I mean, that's why, I mean, that's priceless for him.
Most certainly. Thank you, guys. Excellent. All right. So, moving on. So, just to reiterate, Amy Sedaris' name, her character's name is Pela Mato, is what her name is. Pele Mato. So, for those that weren't sure what her name is, it's Peli Mato. I think that's what she mentioned, saying, "Oh, is that what Grogu's saying when he's speaking when he takes him out of the ship?" But all right, so after that sequence, that's when Mando and Grogu and R5 fly to Mandalore, and we get that great sequence there, which shows all the awesome, you know, space featurette, the spaceship itself. It looks so beautiful and crisp, and it looks amazing. And they end up, you know, landing on Mandalore, and that's when Mandalore has. And orders R5 to scout ahead to see, you know, ensure that the atmosphere is not toxic. So R5 makes his way out, and he kind of disappears, and he doesn't return for a while. So Darjin decides, oh, okay, I better go look to see what happened to him. Then he tells Grogu, it's okay, stay here, I'll be back. And so he ventures into the caverns, and he ends up finding where R5 is, and he encounters these characters or these creatures named the Alamites. So as he ensues in this great battle there between them, and they're like these weird looking like creatures with several eyes and are like super buff and big and stuff like that, and they have their own weapons. And so basically Mando is fighting these guys off, and we see him do some sword play. He ends up pulling out the lightsaber sword that he got from unfortunately I forget what his name is, that was in season 1.
Moff Gideon.
Moff Gideon. Thank you. And he basically uses that to, kill them and to save R5. So then once after he's done battling the Alamites, that's when him and R5 make their way back outside to the ship and get Grogu. And that's when they end up heading back into the mines. So before we move on past that, let's talk about that whole sequence there. What were your guys' thoughts on the travel to Mandalore? What were your guys' thoughts on basically kind of that whole fight sequence with the Alamites, and kind of just what your whole thoughts were on that sequence of the episode? I forgot they first stop at Bo-Katan's, before they go to Mandalore at first, and just let her know that, what they're up to. But moving on past that. So what were your guys' thoughts on that sequence, on all that kind of good stuff? And overall, what did you think about the Alamites and kind of that whole scenario? Starting with you, Rich.
Okay, thank you. What is Bo-Katan doing? I mean, she's just sitting in a chair. She's been sitting in a chair for the whole episode.
Yeah.
And then when
sorrow.
Yeah, when Grogu goes back, she's just sitting in a chair. She's sitting in her throne and bored and whatnot. So all I could think about was, what is Bo-Katan doing all this time? That's all I could think about. Again, it's beautiful. I forget what it's called. What do they use for special effects? There's a certain thing they use to make all the special effects look so beautiful. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous, and really using that Disney money.
They just sprinkle some crack on it, Rich.
Pretty much. Yeah. But it was gorgeous, and it was really interesting to see that Jin cannot still use the dark saber. It's still too heavy for him. That's really, and I'll talk about Bo-Katan later, but it was just so fascinating that he's still, even though he struggles with it, he still takes it out. When he could probably use better weapons to dispatch these creatures. So again, that whole sequence, the action was great. The special effects were great. It was beautiful, and I just could not stop thinking about Bo-Katan and what she is doing while Mando's doing all this stuff. So yeah, but it was pretty good though. Again, it flowed. It flowed well.
Awesome, excellent, thank you. Jason.
Yes.
Same question, sir.
Okay. I can't agree more with what Rich said, but what I did especially like about that sequence was when Din was flying in and he's teaching Grogu about all the different cultures of Mandalore and what it once was. It gives you a little foreshadowing of what it's going to eventually be. Like even Din said, I've never been to Mandalore. That's where I was born, over there, and he shows on the little console, hey, that's where Bo-Katan is. She's not on Mandalore either. But that little bit of history, I think, was really important for the people who didn't watch the Clone Wars or Rebels or read any of the expanded universe stuff. So I think that was great for the casual fan. You know what I mean? Even me. I mean, I'm a huge Star Wars fan, but I couldn't tell you much about the lore of Mandalore.
Most definitely. Awesome. Thank you. Yes, Jeff, you wanted to direct something off of Jason.
Good point. I think Jason makes right there is that Andor and the Mandalorian are getting people like me that are casual Star Wars fans. They're making me want to go back and watch Clone Wars and read this stuff that Gunnar's been telling me about for almost a year and a half or whatever and whatnot. Like, I needed something tangible to work with and whatnot to get me passionate enough to want to go back like that, right? You know what I'm saying? And these are the kind of elements, these are the things that are giving it the fuel for me to where I want to go back.
Right. And I can tell you there's a video on YouTube. I believe it's only about 45 minutes long, but it will give you the nuts and bolts of what you need to know from the Clone Wars, like in a very condensed way and without all the filler. You know what I mean? So
basically like a lore video.
A what?
Like a lore video? Like
I'm sorry.
lore?
I'm not
like
familiar.
Like a lore video. Like what got me like into like Game of Thrones, for instance, was lore. Was like the lore videos where they explained the whole map and like the different kingdoms and whatnot and the different what got me into like Dune, for instance, was not seeing the 80s Dune or reading the book. Right. It was YouTubers that make these lore videos where they just explain the whole universe of Dune.
It's kind of like that, but they actually use the scenes from Clone Wars. So basically, they cut out all the fluff, and they give you a hardcore 45 minutes that gives you the entire 6 seasons, real compact. Because Clone Wars lost me in the first season because it was too kid oriented. But all of a sudden, it became like an adult. It was more mature. After like season 3, and so it took like the really important stuff that you need to know in order to follow the rest of Star Wars, and combine it into one video, one short, in retrospect of the entire season, but one short video.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah,
excellent. All right, Jasmine, same question, please.
Personally, I think Bo-Katan, I actually pretty much love her as a character. I'm very much a sarcastic person, and for some people it can be too much. Sometimes it can be a little dry. And I think that's what I love about her as a character, is because she has a dry sense of humor, and she comes off more sarcastic, but in a dick kind of way when she doesn't want to deal with something.
Right.
And it reminds me of the actress in pretty much any role she's been in where she plays somebody that's tough but has a dry sense of humor. I think a lot of actresses go on that, and I think that's why I like Bo-Katan as an adult. I liked her as a character in Clone Wars, don't get me wrong, but her as an adult, it's more grounding. You can relate more to her when it comes to you feel like the world is against you because you can't achieve something that you were wanting to achieve with all your might, and someone else got it from under your grasp. And then everybody that you were working with or supporting all left your ass behind, and now you're just sitting here in this lounge chair mad as fuck, and a robot that's serving you alcohol.
Yeah. And she totally just like talks so down to that droid too. I almost feel bad for him.
I thought it was hilarious because I swear these droids would be talking back, just not in English.
Right.
Because when they got to Mandalore and that robot got out, the way it slowly rolled towards the cave and then looked back like, no.
You really want me to do this?
Don't be scared. Right. I was just like, wow. It's bad if a droid's scared, because like I know R2 would have rolled in there like a pimp without giving a damn. All you see is sparks and hearing bodies fall. I think they did a really good job at just conveying the differences between humans and droids and just showing that they're more than just robots. They've been doing that since the Book of Boba Fett and Kenobi and Rogue One. Like, they've been showing us that if you take away the inhibitors in which that man has put on them, they're a lot more aware than we expect. And can be very vengeful too, because didn't one robot like grab a pipe ready to bust somebody in on Kenobi just in case somebody decided to come a little too close to the passageway? I was like, well, sir. So I just really like how this world building is getting with this Dave and Favreau universe. It's just, they really know their audience and they know where they're going. And with this show, they've given each character a dynamic and a characteristic that broadens with every time you see them.
Did you say Dave? Did you say Dave Grohl?
No, I said Dave and I was gonna say Filoni, but I was like Favreau. I would say Dave and Favreau, but I did like seeing that. Yes, I can understand where Jeff is coming from when it comes to the mechanic. She is kind of a sketchy lady, but I think she's good people, in my opinion. It depends on who you are and how you treat her, is how I've gotten it. People just treat her like a mechanic and nothing more than that and less than human. And so she's like, oh, okay, then fuck you. So so I've enjoyed that. And I also know that Din likes her mostly because of the fact that she's kind of opened his surroundings when it comes to people, especially with his relationship with Grogu. Because when they were first going at it, he saw the baby nothing more than an object that needed to get from point A to point B. And then with her babysitting Grogu when need be, you kind of got to see that there was a connection there, some humanity in him outside of his Kree. And I think they do a really good job at showing that, even though he finds himself, it gives me a lot of parallels to like Christianity and faith when it comes to, because when he says, without the Kree, what do we have? It very much gave me that. People who are in this world and lost, and they feel like they need to hold on to something in order to just live, to exist, because otherwise they don't know what else to do.
Yeah, that was deep, Jasmine. Jeez.
I know. Well, I can tell you right now, if Jesus ever gives up on me, I'm going to Jar Jar, baby.
I love Jar Jar. He was comedic relief, and I live. A little too comedic sometimes, but he was good, funny.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you, Jasmine. All right, Gunnar. Same question, sir.
Yeah, I mean, not much more to add than what everyone said, except I love how accurate this universe is compared to where we first see in the Clone Wars. You know, the ships that we're seeing from the Clone Wars, the locations, Mandalore itself looked exactly like it did in the Clone Wars. Like, they do a great job. And, you know, I think what people don't realize, especially those that are hating on the Disney Star Wars stuff, what people don't realize is, you know, and I'm going to go back to those that hated that hated the prequels as well. Like, the reason why what's good in Star Wars is good is because of George Lucas. George Lucas's protege, the man he picked out of obscurity, who was working on Avatar: The Last Airbender, and he brought him in and said, "You are going to be my protege." That's Dave Filoni. And everything Dave Filoni has done has been great. Why? Because he worked with George. He gets George. Why was Rogue One great? Because John Knoll was a big part of it. And John Knoll has been working on Star Wars since the 1970s. Those are the reasons that what makes Star Wars great. It's George Lucas. So all you out there that hated George Lucas, sell the company George Lucas, now we're seeing what George Lucas has given us in Dave Filoni and in John Knoll with Rogue One. So, I think when people get upset about the Star Wars stuff, I think they're starting to see how important George Lucas was. But I love seeing the stuff that Dave Filoni and George Lucas, by the way, created in the Clone Wars, seeing it live action. I mean, getting Katie Sackhoff to play Bo-Katan after she voiced her it was a seamless transition, and they've gotten pretty lucky with a lot of those seamless transitions. And I mean, my one big takeaway was just how beautiful Mandalore looked. It looked exactly how I wanted it to look in live action, because it looked exactly like it did in Clone Wars.
Excellent. Thank you. Most definitely. All right. Jeff, same question, sir. Your thoughts on that section of the episode with the Alamites and their journey to Mandalore, and anything else you'd like to add?
Well, it says right here that in October of 2012, Disney bought ILM's parent company, Lucasfilm, acquired our ILM, Skywalker Sound, and LucasArts in the process. Disney stated that it had no immediate plans to change ILM's operations. It began to lay off employees by April of the next year. Following the restructuring of LucasArts in April 2013, ILM was left overstaffed, and the faculty was reduced to serve only ILM's visual effects department. ILM opened a London studio headquarters, blah, 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 in 2014. In 2018, ILM opened a new division targeted at television series called ILM TV, and in London. And in 2019, announced a new facility in Sydney, Australia. ILM introduced Stagecraft in that same year in 2019, also known as the Volume. It uses high-definition LED video walls to generate virtual sceneries and was first used in The Mandalorian. Following Disney's acquisition of 21st Century Fox, Fox VFX Lab was folded into ILM, including the Technoprops division. In October 2022, ILM opened a new studio in Mumbai. So basically, my only point with this is simply that to bounce off Gunnar, I think that the show's so entertaining sometimes that you almost don't pay attention to the digital effects. Mandalore looked fucking awesome when they showed it and everything and whatnot. I love the space shots in the series and whatnot. And I think that they, if anything, Grogu and and Mando, Djinn, I don't want to say they don't overshadow their own show, but you get so focused on the two of them together and their and the droids and everything and whatnot and all this, that you lose focus almost sometimes at the scenery, just what you're looking at around the story, around the main focus of the shots, and everything is really shot. It's really shot really well. I don't know what the budget was on this. I'll look it up in a minute, but I just wanted to point out that Gunnar makes a good point. This looked visually great. And people can say what they want about episode 1. I thought it was great. It looked freaking great. I swear to God, I still think that gator thing, fucking monster or whatever from the beginning, was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. I think, as far as creatures go in Star Wars, that thing was at a different level. I love that fucking thing.
Nice, thank you. All right, so moving on. So next, basically after that, when we said basically he started entering the catacombs again after realizing that the air was not toxic, and when they got Grogu, they enter into it, and they encountered this spider crab-like thing that's this giant robot, and basically Darjin ends up getting captured by this. After he's been captured, Grogu's hiding out in the area there, and another creature ends up getting out of that giant mechanical machine, or whatever you want to call it, a cyborg creature, and basically gets out of it. And it's very similar to what people mentioned earlier, similar to General Grievous in the prequel films, where it's a human, it's organic matter that is using mechanical parts to live. And basically we see Mando, he's stuck in this cage thing, and he's hooked up to all these different things. So Grogu decides he's going to try to stop the creature to get him free using his force powers, and he ends up trying that, but it doesn't do anything. The creature notices and starts like trying to destroy him, kill him, and that's when Mando tells him to go get Bo-Katan. So Grogu goes back to the ship, gets into it, and has R5 send them back to Bo-Katan. Basically, they arrive there at Bo-Katan. She comes out and like was basically ready to tell Mando that I have nothing to want to do with you. And then notices it's just Grogu, and basically she figures out that Mando needs help, so she ends up following them back. So they end up going back to Mandalore with Bo-Katan, and they end up going back down into the caverns. And Bo-Katan ends up meeting some Alamites herself and kicks their butt. And then eventually ends up finding Mando and the cyborg creature, and she ends up battling out with the cyborg creature and his giant cyborg machine, and she ends up destroying it and freeing Mando. So before we move past that, let's talk about that whole sequence. The going to get Bo-Katan, Grogu trying to use his force powers, the fights that Bo-Katan has with the Alamites, and then that Cyborg creature. What were you guys' thoughts on all that little section of the episode? Did you enjoy it? I thought it was really kick-ass. I really enjoyed it. I thought that machine looked really cool, and the Cyborg creature that was in it. And I thought all over it was just a really fun little sequence. So what were all your guys' thoughts? I'll start with you, Jason.
Oh, wow. Caught me off guard. Just got back. I watched the episode twice. Once when I came home from work, and the second time when my kids got home. I noticed at first I'm like, why is Din just in this cage and he's like all groggy and all that? But when I saw it the second time, I caught that spider thing came down and jabbed him under his helmet with some kind of sedative. And so that's why he was in the cage and he was non-responsive.
He was stealing his blood, I think.
And it was stealing his blood. Yeah. And I really did like seeing after Din had used the darksaber and still was struggling with it, how Bo-Katan just kind of picked it up and just like knew what to do and was like, I think they said in Book of Boba Fett, like whoever is wielding it needs to control it. It doesn't control you. You control it. And that's like, I think that's something that Din needs to learn. But she had it down because she at one time did own the darksaber. Went back when she ruled Mandalore. And I think Sabine Wren ended up getting it in Rebels. So yeah, that's what I thought was cool about that whole thing.
And
Nice.
Going off what you said with Sabine Wren, when she was training to use the darksaber from Kanan Jarrus, she was having the same problems Jen was having.
Right.
Where she, she was struggling and she thought it was heavy. So it's not a Din Djarin thing. It's it's just controlling. And I imagine, I imagine using a regular lightsaber would be the same thing. So
I would assume like how and I'm getting probably a little too deep, but like how the midichlorians work. I think everybody in the Star Wars universe is in tune with the Force on some level, but depending on your midichlorian count is how much control you have. And I think the darksaber, being a tool of the Jedi, I think having that instinct with the Force would help somebody. That's why I think like down the line, like Grogu or Sabine is going to be the ones to kind of own the darksaber and rule Mandalore. I don't think it's going to be Bo-Katan or Din Djarin.
Excellent. Thank you. And just after you were already talking, Gunnar, go ahead and same question to you, sir.
Oh, well, first off, Bo-Katan gets what she deserves, being all alone, because back in season 2, she's hanging out and her boy Axe Woves went to use the bathroom and they left him at the planet. Because remember, he was hanging with Axe Woves and Koska Reeves, and all of a sudden they leave and Axe Woves gets out of the bathroom and all his Mandalorian friends are gone. So that's what she deserves, to be alone, just like she did to poor Axe. But besides that, again, I like seeing Bo-Katan. She's awesome. She's a cool character. I 100% agree. I think when it's all said and done, I think Grogu is going to be the new Mandalore. I got way more to say about the next section, I think, because I think that is probably the coolest section in the episode. But I also like how, like everyone else, Bo loves Grogu, because she's like, I'm going to tell this guy off for the last time. And she goes, oh, it's Grogu.
Yeah, she melts.
Where's your daddy? So it's like that little guy has everyone's heart.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Excellent. Thank you. Jasmine, same question.
I agree. I melted the moment she saw Grogu. I saw her. I swear, she stormed out of that castle like a black woman, mad as hell that somebody stole something from her, or she was about to get her car towed. That's exactly how she walked out. So I immediately was like, oh, this is about to get good. And then I was like, oh, yeah, wait, isn't the baby the only one in there?
Yeah.
She made me completely forget who was in the ship. And just how she melted when she was, like, worried. Like, she immediately got worried because Grogu's face when he had to leave was heartbreaking. Like, it was the worry, the sadness, the hurt of not being able to protect somebody you care about at such a young age.
Oh,
It was just like heartbreaking. I was just like, oh. But then when she saw that, I was like, where he at?
Yeah.
She was like, guns blazing ready. She was like, oh, we about to fuck some shit up. So I thought that was cute. The switch up was cute.
And if I can add something to that, you can tell throughout the episode how Bo-Katan kind of like found her purpose again, or almost, because you could see in her face, she was real stern, and she said, I'm going to put an end to this, and goes out to curse out Din Djarin. Sees it's Grogu. She's flying back and she's seeing Mandalore, and she's like, you could see in her face that she's feeling this again. You know what I mean? And to go and save Din and all, she just became more, I don't know, more life in her face and her actions and everything throughout the episode. So I think like her role as Bo-Katan, she nailed it.
Excellent. Anything else you'd like to add, Jasmine?
I actually agree on that because she, like, it felt like somebody that lost their way and lost faith in themselves. And watching her slowly get that back throughout this, especially when she picked up that saber.
Yeah.
I swear, like, I was like, oh, I may have a fetish for helmet gear. Like, ooh. Because, like, I was like, Mando. Oh, wait. Never mind. Hey, girl. Because she was so feisty and so, like, her agility was amazing. Watching her lose her gun to shoot that hook out and bring it back so smooth, so regal. I loved it. It's nice to see action that is well written and directed, because that was something I had an issue with the Rey series. Was it lost me when it came to that, because the writing was subpar, not horrible, but it was subpar at best.
Yeah.
And the way they directed it was a hit and miss situation. Because for me, it was all over the place. And it felt like they were trying to go with this Jesus situation with her. Like they were trying to give her this holy of thou. I can do this without trying situation. But with Bo-Katan, you actually got to see that growth throughout the series of Clone Wars, and then coming to here and just watching her from an animated character to this live action badass was just epic and enticing, and just it made me want to see more of her. And I'm a little disappointed that if she's not in the rest of the series, because I kind of want to see more of her.
Yeah, I'm really she's growing on me in a big way.
Right? Like I was like, in the beginning, I kind of thought she was a cunt. She reminded me of the girl. So, so I was a little. So I was like, like you, but she's growing. It seems more or less. Now that she lost what she was fighting so hard for, she's finding something else to fight for. Right. And I like that because I know damn well my ass ain't jumping in the ocean for nobody.
You're right.
She dove in there. Like
that shit was deep too.
Yeah, like I'm like, no. Black girls in wet hair, no. No. So just, and it was cool because you got to see so much of Mandalore that you didn't really get to see in the Clone Wars as much.
Right.
And you get to explore more of the lore with her reading that little scripture. And just, I feel like we're finally back in the swing of things that made Star Wars so great.
Yes. And
that's something I'm really excited to continue to keep saying.
Yo, me and Jasmine are bonding here, man. I like this.
I don't know if you talked about the thing in the water, but I swear that looked like a dragon to me.
Yeah.
That's past that part. That's the end. That's the very end. We haven't gotten to it yet.
Okay. Okay, my bad.
I have some info on that character.
I was just stating that I'm enjoying her as a character, and I think they did a really good job at writing her in a way that it feels like an escalation of her character than opposed to the de-escalation and making you hate her more.
Right.
Excellent. Thank you. All right, Rich, your thoughts, sir.
Yeah, so this might sound strange, but this is for this part, this is my least favorite part of the episode, only because Grogu has so much agency now. And that sounds weird, but I know how a lot of people don't like Amy Sedaris. I don't like Grogu that much, to be honest with you. I'm not like a big Grogu person. When the series started out, I really enjoyed it because it was more of the Western side of Star Wars as opposed to like the samurai, the knight side of Star Wars, which is the Jedi and all that stuff. And so that's why like season 2 for me kind of lost some of the appeal for me because it got more toward that Jedi side, especially with the Jedi episode with the Bo-Katan or Ahsoka. And, the fact that, Grogu's gone to a point where he can use the Force to the extent where he can like get out of there, fly away and stuff like that kind of took away from me. In Boba Fett, in the book of Boba Fett, when we got introduced back to Grogu, we got Luke Skywalker, we got, all that stuff. I was kind of like, I thought we were done with Grogu personally. I'm okay with Grogu in short spurts, but like now that he seems to be, you were saying like he might even get the dark saber. And so like for me, I don't know. I wasn't the biggest fan. I feel like we're getting farther and farther away from the Mandalorian's character. I feel like it's expanding maybe too fast for me. So I wasn't in love with this, especially since Din Djarin didn't get himself out of this problem. So I like Bo-Katan. I think she's cool, and I think she should have the dark saber herself because she obviously can wield it, better than Mando could right now. But I wasn't in love with this because Grogu seems to be. It was the Mandalorian show. I feel like Grogu is so popular; it's his show now, and so I wasn't in love with this part. I'm interested to see what happens next, and you'll get to that. But I don't know. I feel like Grogu is stealing the show completely now. So I wasn't in love with this part of the episode personally.
Yeah, I feel you. It's almost like he's a distraction now.
A little bit.
My only problem with the whole Grogu thing is they seem to take something that works so well and they do it all the time.
Right.
Clone Wars was a story of Anakin and his Padawan Ahsoka, where he takes the kid on all the journeys. Rebels, they take Ezra on all these journeys. You got Mando and Grogu. You got Obi-Wan and Leia. It's like the same thing over. Bad Batch with
Omega.
Omega, as she likes to call herself. It's the same thing over and over again. That's my one complaint that I have about Star Wars is I feel like it's just the same trick over and over again. And you know what? 99% of the time it works. But just let's come up with something else.
Sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit.
Exactly, Jeff.
But yeah, it was kind of like Andor's kind of breaking that mold, which is cool.
Andor was the least Star Wars show, and I loved it.
Right.
I think what I loved most was the Mon Mothma stuff. I loved the Star Wars stuff that we had. It was great to not have Jedi and not have.
Don't open that Andor vein, bruh. Don't even take it there, man, because that'll take the show in another fucking rabbit hole phase we want to go down.
Right.
I loved Andor. I loved it. I just.
You didn't. You loved Andor? What a shock! Look, if you don't like Andor, then something's wrong with you. But no, I'm sorry. I apologize. I forget whose turn it was.
I also like Captain Marvel. Take that, Jeff.
I like Captain Marvel too.
You know, it's weird because right before I came on, I was watching a basketball game on ESPN Plus, and they have commercial. Like when they go to commercial break, it's the same 5 commercials. You ever watch anything streaming? It's the same 5 commercials all the time. And there was this car commercial with Brie Larson, and I just laughed every time thinking of you, Jeff.
There you go. There's your hero right there, buddy.
I actually like Brie Larson. She was great in the United States of Terror. She was great in The Room.
I like
that. I like that man right there in the middle. I like that guy right there. That Captain American dude. I heard he's pretty fucking dope.
But I did think of you every time they showed Brie Larson.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And and I'll tell you right now, I wake up every morning to Brie every day, just like this. That's how I start my day, right? Yep.
She needs a Bo-Katan ass. That thing was ridiculous, man. you all saw it tonight. Come on.
It was too dark.
Okay, so it wasn't just me. Oh, I stared at it. I was like,
honey,
ooh.
Oh, yeah. I even said to my kids, when we were watching, I was like, yo, Bo-Katan's got a fat ass. They both looked at me like I'm crazy, but.
All right. Is it my fucking turn yet or what?
I'm sorry, man.
Yes, Jeff. It is your turn now.
God damn
Thank you, Rich.
These people come on our fucking show. These people come on our show. They have so much fun and shit, whatnot. I can't even get a chance to talk. What the fuck is this, man?
God forbid we have fun.
Jesus Christ. We have fun every night on here, man. Except for I actually thought we were gonna have a Kevin moment earlier. You don't know about the Kevin inside story, but earlier I'm messing with you, Jason. I know you never pull it, but when you first came on, I literally thought you were gonna say, "I'm sorry, but I didn't watch the episode."
Oh no.
Yeah,
no.
You don't understand. It's an inside joke, but like now you know. Cyber knows what I'm talking about, so does Gunnar. But no. Honestly, look, Andor is freaking great. I'm telling you right now. I'll go back and I'll go re-review Andor next week. If anybody wants to join the team, whatnot, I'll review the damn series again. I don't even care. I will. I'll do episode by episode. I don't even care. It's that good. But I think the Minds of Mandalore is such a great title. It really is. Like, again, when you think of the minds, I mean, me personally, again, just everybody's pretty much already like captured the best aspects of this part of the episode. For me, what I'm looking at is these creatures, these robots, these what are they called? Cyber mentioned them earlier that Mando first fights. These that are basically what they're like
cave dwellers.
The cave dwellers, or whatever.
Men.
Yeah, like savages or whatever. The fact that they have different, almost like different types of Mandalorian that are like that. I didn't even know that was possible. So like different. I mean, I didn't know that it was like that. I guess I didn't expect it. So this episode just unveiled a lot to me in terms of wanting more information and wishing to hear more about the history of Mandalore, like what it was like when it was functional. You know what I'm saying? Like when it wasn't all messed up or whatever and whatnot. Now, I don't think we're going to get that. I don't see this as being the kind of show where we're going to get flashbacks and stuff like that and whatnot. I don't see that happening. But I could see them actually past the Mandalorian wanting to maybe revisit and go back. Like I'd watch it if they wanted to go back and give us like a prequel.
Yeah.
Right. With and show Mandalore and more, just more of this extended Star Wars universe stuff. I dig it. Because I mean, it just got more and more interesting to me. From a sci-fi standpoint, probably, right? If anything, if you want to go to that length, like from a sci-fi level, it got more interesting to me. The fact that freaking robot was actually sucking the blood and shit and the marrow out of Mando, I was like, what? And then it had that eye, like that thing was humanoid of some type or whatever.
Yeah,
Like what is that shit?
Yeah, I was saying to my kids, I said, if I was like 10 years old, I'd be terrified right now with that
Oh, for
spider
real?
thing coming.
Oh yeah, you kidding me? Come on now. I'm sorry, but like anybody who's down to like throw down with that spider thing and whatnot and everything, like good for you, man. You must have been doing some bath salts or something beforehand or whatever, because I mean that's not gonna be a good move for you. But no, but seriously, the Minds of Mandalore, what a great title! Like it so depicts, I mean, how awesome it is. I love it that they went underground like that. And I got a deja vu vibe from I can't remember what movie it was or what series, where when he realized that the atmosphere was breathable, that the air was breathable and everything and whatnot, and that the rumors of the curse or whatever of the planet or whatever it was not true. I got a deja vu feeling to another movie or another series where that same thing happened.
I know exactly what you're talking about, but I can't remember it either.
Yeah.
It was like he had to take his mask off for a purpose, and then was like, wait, I can breathe.
Yes.
Oh, well,
either way, no, but no, I love it. I love the fact that they went hardcore sci-fi on my ass. You know what I'm saying? Like when they went into the mines, to me, in a way, that's what I got out of that, along with almost like a Rings of Power vibe, like with the dwarves. You know what I'm saying? Like sort of in a way. You know what I mean? Like I got a little bit of that going on too. And now that could just be me and Cyber just reviewing and Jasmine reviewing tons of shit and Gunnar and whatnot, and it all getting crossed up. But no, I love this world building. I love this. I love the fact that like I think honestly, I think that Katie Sackhoff has more acting range than people give her credit for sometimes. Honestly, we don't know that she found her way or whatever. She's capable of stabbing somebody in the back. She's capable of acting. She can act with that range to where she can fool you and all of a sudden just turn around and stab you in the back. And she could end up being the villain of this series by the end, right? Like it could end up being a thing where Mando's got to fight her towards the end or whatever, whatnot type deal, right? Because I mean, I don't know what y'all are thinking. I guess I must have said something that hurt Jason's feelings. We lost him. Oh, there he is. He's back. Sorry about that. My bad, Jason. Did you dip off real quick so you could go figure out what that deja vu was?
No, just all of a sudden that I started lagging. It's probably my Wi-Fi. Everybody's probably playing on their Xbox right now.
It could be the Curse of She-Hulk. Either way, but no. Bottom line, no. I just love that. Honestly, I'm telling you, I think that Katie Sackhoff has more range than that, and I don't know how it's going to flush out, but I'm seeing this as being a situation where I think, for one thing, Grogu at some point in the series, I think they're gonna diminish Grogu's role. I don't think he's going to continue to be this big or whatever.
They should.
Yeah, they have to. I'm sorry. I love Grogu. I do. Grogu's growing on me. I won't lie. He is. I'm liking him. I even felt something inside and whatnot when Grogu sat in Dijin's lap in the first episode, and he was they were cuddling and shit and whatnot. Yeah. I thought that was nice. I even liked it. I did. And I dug it and whatnot. So I'm all right with Grogu, but I won't lie though. Going into the first episode, I was hoping. I said this in the show. I was hoping that Grogu was going to die by the end of season 2. I just wanted Grogu to die. Yeah. Fall off a cliff or something. Because I don't know. To me, he just didn't really add that much to the show in the first 2 seasons. But I'm loving him right now. But I don't see them keeping him teamed up with the Mando like that, paired up the whole series. At some point, they're going to break them up. Maybe he's going to go be babysat, or again or whatever. Maybe the Jawas are going to watch over him for a while. Who knows? But either way, I'm seeing this as being a situation where I think that the relationship between Grogu and Jin, or Din or whatever, I think it's going to end up being one that's going to humanize him to a point where he's going to evolve the way of the Mandalore, right? He's going to end up like almost like changing things, like, you know what I'm saying, and deciding that like the old laws and the old rules need to be changed to adjust to time.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with you that he is definitely going to change Mando, but I don't think we're going to see any less of him. I mean, if we had a perfect drop-off point at the end of season 2 when he was given the Luke, and then he was brought back in the Book of Boba Fett. So I think we're getting more and more of him. I don't think he's going
You're good. You don't have
to
to
be dropped off at all. I think the actual opposite.
Oh, so they're going to give him his own show?
I think this is his own
Mandalorian.
show. I think this is his show now. I think it's Grogu and Mandalorian. That's what it should be called. Grogu plus Mandalorian.
Well, at the end of the day, the Mandalorian is going to be Grogu. I don't think Din Djarin's going to make it out of this show alive. When it's all said and done, the Mandalorian will be Grogu.
Yeah, but why the hell would Grogu become a Mandalorian, man? Like he's already he's a Yoda type.
Yeah, but he's molding him like Din Djarin is molding him right now. I feel that, Gunnar.
Last episode,
totally
he'll finally get his little helmet and he'll take a dark saber.
Well, I think that's really interesting because, with the Book of Boba Fett, we had that make a choice. Make a choice.
Yeah.
Do you want to be a Mandalorian or do you want to be a Jedi? And then he chose the chainmail.
Disney made that choice because they saw money slipping out of this thing.
So, but I think that's the thing. That's the choice now. It's not really, Mandalorian is Mandalorian. He's not going to change to that extent. But I think it's more like, what will Grogu ultimately do?
Yo, Rich, if Grogu comes out with the Mandalorian armor in episode 3, bro, I'm out, bro.
Flying around.
Yeah.
Flying around the dark saber.
I apologize, Cyber.
All right. So awesome, guys. Thank you. All right. So that brings us to the conclusion of the episode here. So after Bo-Katan rescues Dar Jin, that's when basically she's about to leave and she ends up saying, "Oh, okay, I'll stay and take it and guide you to the living waters." So we see them walk down the cavern some more to the waters, and they get there, and Mando takes off some of his armor stuff, stuff like that, and starts walking and starts reciting some words to help him cleanse himself of him taking off his helmet so he can become a Mandalorian again. So as he's reciting, he's walking into the water, and he takes about 3 steps, and then all of a sudden, he suddenly drops down into the water. Bo-Katan notices this and dives immediately in and rushes to his aid. And we see her, and she's flying down through the waters, and it's all super dark and pitch black and stuff like that. And she's like messing with her light to figure out which way to go. And she makes her way down and finds him at the bottom of this giant crevice of whatever it is, and grabs him and starts making their way back off. And that's when all of a sudden, when they come face to face with a mythosaur. We briefly see his eye and kind of his face a little bit, and she notices it, and it's kind of like, ugh, and they bolt out of the water and back up onto the steps, and basically it shows Grogu's face, and he's kind of like, oh, and that's when the episode ends. So, what were you guys' thoughts on the end of the episode? What did you think of the mythosaur? And what did you think about how all of a sudden Dar Jin all of a sudden just drops down to that abyss? And what was your overall thoughts of the episode as well? Starting
Me.
starting with you, Gunnar.
No, I loved my favorite part of this episode was just Din Djarin and Katie said Bo-Katan just talking exposition. Give me as much exposition as possible. I loved it, and there were some great moments. There's where Bo is talking about how she's been down here and it made her dad happy, and then she talked about how her dad died fighting for Mandalore, and then Djarin stopped, and he goes, "This is the way." Like, how powerful was that scene? It might be the most powerful scene in this series so far. I love that. I loved her reading the plaque. We get to see hear Mandalore, the original Mandalore from the EU. We hear that he's now official canon, which is ultimate. I was gonna say I don't remember which Mandalore it was, Mandalore the Ultimate, Mandalore the Indomitable, whatever. But I love just having that part of the EU kind of become canon was awesome. And then, of course, him getting sucked down the water was very reminiscent of A New Hope when Luke got sucked down by the Dianova.
Oh, yeah. How about that?
That was cool. That was a very cool scene. And then, of course, the Mythosaur, which is what we've been waiting for, which from the first episode, we're like, yeah, the Mythosaur is going to show up in this season. Again, like I said earlier in the show, I assume that all of this would be the end of the season and not the beginning. So it's kind of coming a little sooner than I thought. But yeah, he's going to ride that thing. Him and Grogu are going to ride that Mythosaur, and it's going to be glorious. So, yeah, I love that exposition. I love the "this is the way" scene. Just ripped my heart out. And again, Bo-Katan is opening up. I think she is. At first, I thought, well, she's going to turn on him. She's going to fight him, and she might even kill Din Djarin to get the dark saber. But I don't know. I think maybe he's going to flip her, not so much that she's going to never take her helmet off. But I mean, we see in the trailer that he's trying to reunite all of Mandalore, and the one thing we don't see in those scenes is her people. And I wouldn't be surprised if her people are still on her homeworld and she was just like hiding them, so Din didn't know how powerful she was for when she comes to take that dark saber away. But maybe she's starting to soft on him. I just thought that was a great scene right there. Whole episode all about those last 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Cool.
And what would you overall give the episode?
Oh, I'd give it a 9.5. Maybe it was great. I mean, there wasn't much to complain about in this episode. I mean, everything from R5D4 all the way to the Mythosaur. I mean, what? Maybe I gotta go with 10. I don't know. I got nothing to complain about this episode. It was great. I know Jeff just thinks I'm too positive all the time, but it was great.
Excellent. Awesome. All right. Jason, same question,
indeed.
sir.
I really like the ending. I didn't understand why Din just like miss that last step and just kind of jumped or fell all the way to the bottom. I mean, the Beskar, I'm sure, is pretty heavy. But that creature that they see on the way up, that is what that little skull thing on the Mandalorian's or Mandalore's emblem is. You guys familiar? Am I talking like out my butt? I guess I'm talking out my butt.
I have no fucking idea what you're talking about, man.
The skull that the Mando has here is that creature that they saw under the water.
Oh,
so
gotcha.
That creature is so important that they, took his symbol and made it part of their armor. And the thing that Bo-Katan read was whoever tames this, is, high regards, whatever. I don't know exactly how she worded it, but so I definitely see Grogu and being the one who does that. So like when he tamed the Rancor, and what was the other animal that he
Mudhorn.
Yeah, and
right, lifted up the Mudhorn.
Yeah. So he has the ability to do it. So I think it's some serious foreshadowing that eventually that's going to happen. Maybe I'm not sure it's not this season, but maybe within the next two. He's going to be a lot more important. as much as people don't, are like, he's too cute, stop with the Grogu stuff. And part of me agrees. But I think he's a bigger part of this puzzle than we all know right now.
All right. And what would you give it numerically for the episode, sir?
I actually said it already, a 9.5 out of 10. Nothing is a perfect 10. And I think I take that half point away because I don't like that one character from Tatooine.
Awesome. Thank you.
Well, I don't know about that. Hold on a minute, Leech. I guarantee you right now, Brie Larson is a 10 for having a flat ass, man. She's got the flattest ass in history. She's a 10.
I don't know. I'm an ass man. I need, I need me some ass.
Oh, well, you don't want none of that Brie ass.
Nah, I'm good. I'm good.
All
I'll pass on that one. That's all you, buddy.
Excellent. Excellent. All right, Jasmine. Same question. What did you think about the ending? And your rating, please.
Well, I agree on the 9 for the episode because nothing has been a perfect 10 yet. But I did very much enjoy watching him sink because I thought it was hilarious. I was like, hey, it's me. Because I have a tendency to find a pothole no matter where I'm going. So I have like the biggest feel for him when he was walking and he was reciting that. And it was like he was having his own little moment. He was so happy. He was like, yes, I'm going to be part of them again. Fuck! It didn't fall. Just for him to get woken up from her coming down there and that dragon down there was just everything. I was just so happy to see it. I was like, yay!
Yeah.
Because it was just like, what the fuck are you doing in my home?
Yeah. Trying to sleep, goddammit.
Yeah, so it's just like, turn off the fucking light. So I think it's overall, the episode's been really pretty and enjoyable. And I like seeing that they're not relying a lot on CGI anymore. That there are some practical effects that they're using, and they're still keeping up with the Muppets for certain characters that were Muppets way back in the day. So it's really nice to see that they're still keeping to that tradition because that's what makes me love it because it gives me some groundedness into this universe other than everything being a sound stage. And it's nice to have like actors be able to actually climb on something or go inside something or actually get wet for a character because like even though they weren't in the water for that scene when they were down there, for them to shoot out like that and then you can hear them breathing heavily, they were down there for a minute, so it gives you some some realness to it, and I like that about the show. And I think that Dave Filoni and Favreau are really good at their jobs, and they know what the fandom needs. And I understand why people are over Grogu. They want a little bit less of him because, yeah, he's cute. But when you're an adult trying to watch an adult show, you're trying to get a little bit more seriousness and not have to rely so much on a character that is more for marketable properties, because that's why he's there. He's cute and he's there to keep the younger audience there and create revenue for like products they decided to put out for the baby, Yeah. And I get it, but like me personally, I love seeing Grogu. It's nice to see him, but I do want to see more of Din Djarin doing missions on his own. Some more self-discovery and missions when it comes to that dark saber, because it was cool seeing him fight with it and showing how it, even though it's heavy, he's able to actually wield it and move and fight with it, which was something we didn't really get so much when he first got it. He was so heavy that when he went to swing, it took him with it. It was controlling him. And now you see that he's actually learning to wield it a little bit better. And I'm very much enjoying this series so far. These 2 episodes have been really good at character building. So definitely a 9 for me.
Excellent. Thank you. Rich, same question, please.
Yeah, I think this was my favorite part of the whole episode. In season 2, my favorite part of season 2 was with Bo-Katan, and was with that when we learned that Din is actually an extremist. Like, he's very extreme. We didn't really know that because the lens we get of the Mandalorian is through him. So when to see Bo-Katan say, "Oh yeah, we all take our helmets off," so I'm not as big a Star Wars fan as some other, for those who follow the comics or follow the books, but I thought that Mandalorian just keeps their helmet on, all the time. I just thought that's what they did, but that's only because that's what he does. And so it was to see that conflicting, that indoctrination that he has. It was really fascinating for me. And so this part kind of goes back to that. You can see that she doesn't really, she's a part, that's a part of her history, but it's like she doesn't really truly believe in it like he believes in it. So when he's walking into the water and he's spouting his faith, she's just watching him okay, yeah. How some people watch people who are very religious and say, okay, yeah, that's your thing. And then when he sinks through the water and she goes down there, because I got a sense that she, Gunnar, you said that it's called a mythosaur. That's what it's actually called.
Yep.
Okay, I just thought she was saying it's a myth. And so I thought she didn't even know, she didn't believe that was down there. She had no idea. And the fact that she sees it, it's almost like someone who has no faith, getting instant faith, oh my God.
Yeah, like an awakening.
It's like an awakening. This actually exists. It's down here. It's not just something like you said, it's on their armor. But it's how a lot of people wear crosses and stuff like that. I thought it's just symbolic, but they didn't really believe. Now she sees it for herself. And so it's really interesting because I feel it's a turning point for her more than him. It's more reinforcing my faith is real. And for her, it's I didn't know this was real. I'm going through the motions with the practices and stuff like that. It's ceremonial, but that's why for me, this was definitely the best part of the episode. It was definitely the most interesting. And it makes you want to see more, definitely of her character, but of where he sees himself now. When he goes back to the armorer saying, I saw it, I was there, because it's really interesting to me because that first episode, I'm just okay, this seems like a fetch quest kind of show now. Go do this, go do that. I mean, it was always kind of that. But now it feels actually this is very important to the overall narrative and to his story. And so again, that's what I love about The Mandalorian. I love his story. And as long as we keep on that track, I'm really invested. So overall, I'm a very harsh grader. So I would give it a 7 out of 10.
Ooh.
I would give because all the stuff I really do love about it. But again, it's leading, that's why I love the last 10 minutes. But all the Grogu stuff is killing me. And I'm is this where the show is going? So it kind of makes me hesitant to really invest my love into it as much. So that's why I give it a 7 out of 10.
Excellent. Thank you. Jeff, same question, sir.
Well, I'm going to give it, oh, jeez. Man, stop dropping my crack pipe, man. Anyways, but no, those bitches are expensive, man, but no, anyways, no, I'd say I would give this one a solid 9.75. All right. And I'm not just saying that just to fuck with you, Cyber. I'm going to give it a 9.75 because I'm saving my 10s like I always do for later on in the series and whatnot and everything. But it's close to a 10 for me. I thought it was dope as shit. Definitely better than the first episode. If it keeps on like this, man, then I mean, after fucking Andor, dude, I'm telling you right now, Star Wars is fucking killing it, bro.
Yeah.
Star Wars instead of universe is fucking killing it. Andor, as far as I'm concerned, was probably one of the best television series I've ever seen in my life. I think probably that season. I'm not saying the second season is going to be anywhere near it, but the first season, I think, it's better than some of the HBO Studios series I've seen that I thought were some of the best I've ever seen, like The Wire and Deadwood and shit like that. Well, maybe not as good as Deadwood, but good. It was a good fucking show. Mandalorian is not up to that par if you, in terms of the type of, I guess, more serious, like themes and whatnot that are in the Andor. But it's entertaining as shit, man. And at the end of the day, this is all about entertaining people, right? So, bottom line, it's entertaining the shit out of me. I like watching it. And, I have a hard time watching some stuff on TV and whatnot. It's hard for me sometimes. I got to kind of push myself through it because of my really bad ADHD and whatnot. So, Mandalorian keeps my attention. I enjoy it. Keeps me on my feet. You never know what's going to happen. All of a sudden, that fucking monster fucking robot thing comes out of the ground and shit. You're just like, what the fuck? Seriously?
Yeah.
You got to be kidding me, dude. No, come on now. And Katie Sackhoff, what is her? I got it. I'm actually going to Bo-Katan. She was killing it. She was like a savage down there in the mines on motherfuckers. She was like opening up motherfuckers, like, what's up? I mean, she looks like she could take Mando out in a minute if she wanted to. I'm sorry, but like if they squared off 1-on-1, I'm not seeing how he like beats her.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing how that goes down like that. But
considering everything he has to get through, Grogu is the one who who helps him out. Like, the whole thing within the cage today, and like every episode he has to rely on Grogu. So he's not as badass as
that's why I just don't see that's why it just makes no sense Grogu becoming a Mandalorian. Grogu, if he's what I believe he is, once he's properly trained, even without proper training, he's going to end up eventually being like so powerful in the Force that he's going to be beyond anything a Mandalorian can do. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's going to be whatever his race is an exceptional race when it comes to like, the type of Jedis that, come out of Yoda, right. And I don't know, like I never really thought about it until just now, but I fucking love Yoda, man. For the original Star Wars movies, like Yoda is one of the best parts of it for me. He's just dope. So like, I gotta be honest with you. As much as Grogu does freaking like, it's just like what I'm like, what the fuck? Sometimes with him in the first couple of seasons, I was like, are you kidding me? He is growing on me, and I love the connection to Yoda. I do. I love it. I think it's dope. I think it's great to see that connection, that connective tissue back to the original films. Just like Mon Mothma in Andor.
Yeah.
So there you go. 9.75, baby. Saving my tens. But that alligator, the alligator dinosaur thing from the first episode was a 10.
Excellent. Thank you.
What do you think, Cyber? What's your grade for it?
I'm getting to it.
All right.
I'm just about to. And you interrupted me, Gunnar.
Cyber's moderating the show, Gunnar. The last time I checked.
I don't want him to not get his word in.
Yeah, Gunnar, you stole his thunder. What the hell, man?
You stole my thunder.
Cyber's this funny. Gunnar comes out. He's so excited to be back on the panel of the Bleeding Edge. He's over here trying to out-moderate you.
That's how it goes, I guess.
Hand you back, Cyber. Hand you back.
He had my back, people. He had my back. Okay, that's fine. Anyways, I give it a solid 10. I loved it. I loved the whole cyborg thing, the creature thing, the mythosaur at the end. Absolutely loved it. Thought it was a fantastic episode, just like the first episode. I definitely thought the alligator was a little awesomer than the robot in this one, but still, they're both 10s to me. So I give it a solid 10. I loved it. I thought it was all around great. Great episode.
What a wonderful show. Everybody fucking happy, man. Everybody on the same page. We all loved that fucking episode. This is great. What a wonderful review.
Yeah.
Excellent
hey, thanks for having me, guys. Anytime you guys want to talk about Star Wars, I am down. Look, I just got this. Let me see. It's upside down, but I just got that tattoo done about 2 months ago. It's Luke and Darth fighting in Empire Strikes Back. If that doesn't tell you how much of a nut I am about Star Wars, I don't know what is, but I appreciate it. Anytime you guys want me on, I'm there.
Most definitely. We will have you definitely around again, sir. And we appreciate you having you on the panel. It's great to have you. Fantastic job.
Thank you, bud.
You're welcome. Anyway, so that is it for that episode review, guys. And I will turn it over to Jeff to move on to what he was going to do next.
Oh, well, essentially, I was just going to say, Gunnar, you want to stick around and talk some Andor with me?
I can talk around a little. I got to get up at 4:30 in the morning, so I can't be out too late.
All right,
same here.
We don't got to go. We don't got to go for too long, and I know everybody else wants to dip. No, I was just going to go ahead and do everybody's plugs real quick and whatnot. So I'll start with you, Leech. I'm going to pull up DJB Productions, and you tell me, please, what you'd like me to, pull up, I guess, on there so that I can feature you.
All right. This Friday we were recording. There you go. We're recording Shit Your Pants Wednesday, even though it's a Friday. We're gonna record 3 episodes, so we're gonna do back to back, reviewing films such as Open 24 Hours, Smile, and Barbarian. Also, we do the Capes Not Included and What the Fuck, which Capes Not Included is all about DC and Marvel. What the Fuck is about anything we want to talk about, whether it be swingers or clubbing, just awkward conversations that we all have a ball with covering. So check us out.
Excellent. Awesome.
Certainly. Check that out, people.
Thanks for the plug.
No problem. No problem. We love us some DJB Productions, baby. Danny's a good buddy of mine in Cybers and whatnot and everything. Gunnar loves Danny. You know what I'm saying? Jasmine hasn't met Danny yet, but she'll love Danny when she meets him. Because Jazz loves everybody, even though she acts like she's a prick to some people sometimes and whatnot. She loves everybody. She's nice.
I don't believe that, Jazz. I don't believe that for a
minute.
She's a
lot. She's really nice. She just tries to. She's like Katie Sackhoff, or like Bo-Katan or whatever, whatnot, with her sarcasm. But no. Yeah, that's right. And Jasmine, let me go to you really quick. I'm actually going to be recording with Jasmine tomorrow night. She's going to be moderating my ass. She's going to be she's going to be doing some She-Hulk type shit on me real quick. You know what I'm saying? Over on Jazz and Your Girl Reacts at 10 p.m. Eastern. Because what are we going to be doing, Jazzy?
Oh, we will be watching the 2nd and 3rd episode of Agent Carter.
Oh, you haven't gotten it up yet. I was going to pull it up for you.
Carter up tonight.
Okay.
I've been working on trying to get Captain America up there, but I said, fuck it. I'm just going to put it on Patreon.
Next show on Friday when we do The Last of Us Episode 8. And there we go, folks. Shameless plug. Last of Us Episode 8, 9:35 p.m. Eastern, 6:35 p.m. Pacific. Episode 8. Who's moderating that one, Cyber? I think it's me that you got the finale.
Yes.
There you go. So at that point, I would probably figure out, you should probably better off watching the finale with Cyber. Who knows what the fuck could happen with me moderating episode 8? It could be a shit show. But so I would put the money on Cyber on who's going to moderate the better show. But either way, that's a shameless plug. We're doing Last of Us. We only got 2 more reviews to do. And also shameless plug. I'm going to do our first Monday show next week. Shh. Don't tell anybody. We're gonna have a Monday show on Monday. I don't know what we're gonna do yet. It'll just be me as of right now until I find some motherfuckers to jump on with me. But I'll figure out a formula over there and whatnot, and figure out what I want to do there. But I gotta talk to Cyber about what we're gonna do on Fridays after The Last of Us is over with and whatnot, and we'll discuss that. But Gunnar and Rich of course is from Cinema Blend. And I'm gonna pull you up real quick, Rich. Rich, you're a writer.
Yes.
And if you want to go ahead and just kind of talk about that, I'll pull you up real quick and I'll get you something visual to work with.
Yeah, I write for Cinema Blend. I write articles every week. I write about all kinds of stuff. I wrote about just recently. I wrote about the movie Hook because I just watched Hook for the first time. So I always hear that Hook is such a bad movie. So I just wrote about that. So I've just write whatever's like on my mind at the time. So those are a few of my articles there. So yeah, thank you very much.
Oh, I love that. I love that thumbnail for that. Every movie in the Monsterverse ranked. That's a great thumbnail.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
Oh, you didn't create that motherfucker.
No, I didn't. I wrote about it.
I was about to say you didn't make that bitch. I wasn't thanking you or whatever, or giving you props and saying the thumbnail was good. I didn't read the article. I'm just messing with you, Rich. I love you, brother. I'm glad we finally got you on, man.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun. Thank you for having me.
No problem, brother. No problem. All right, Gunnar, I got you, baby. I got 2 tabs for you, bruh. Watch out. Snap, baby. What's going to snap?
Old school. Yeah, we're still on hiatus. We're probably gonna bring it back. My co-host is having another baby, so we haven't done an episode for a while, but we'll bring it back eventually. I can do about 3 or 4 other podcasts, so this show's kind of on hiatus. But my other one.
Well, hold on. I got you. Hopefully, I think this is it. Hold on 1 second. Let me make sure it's the right one. Because there was a lot of stuff where we have to go back. Is this you?
That is not me.
Okay, my bad. I'm like, okay, I didn't see Gunnar in that picture.
You want to go to Hawaii if those people from that podcast. No, we're you can find all my stuff on wideopenmic.net. That's the podcast.
Wideopenmic.net.
Yeah, so my flagship show, Gunnar and the Pistols, is on there. The Lost podcast we have to go back. We're putting up season there. So we've our co-host one of my co-hosts had a death in his family, so we've been off for a couple weeks, but we should be back hopefully next week, wrapping up the last couple episodes of season 3 of Lost. So that's been fun to go back. We got a virgin that's never seen Lost before, so
wow.
Is she female or is it a female or a male?
It's a male.
Too bad.
That's it. That is it.
Too bad. That's okay though.
I think I've only seen 1 episode of Lost, I think.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow.
You're missing it, man. You're missing it.
I guess that one episode didn't impress you very much, Cyber.
No, it wasn't that it didn't impress me. I just never got into it.
I think as Lost went on, it got better and better and better.
All right, as you can see here, people, if you enjoy me as a moderator here and just enjoy me on the MCU's Bleeding Edge, definitely check out my my solo content under Cyberneticshark. You can find me on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. You can find me everywhere. As you can see, I'm up to 584, getting closer to that 600 mark. And I have all kinds of new shorts up. You can see there I did Creed 1 and 2 there. Grown Ups 1 and 2, the new Teenage Ninja Turtles trailer. I'll be having the actual the trailer reaction up soon, and just been all do stuff. I also check out my impressions on my video. I do an Arnold Schwarzenegger and so forth. Sylvester Stallone. Check those out as well. But yeah, I want to thank everyone that keeps getting me up there. You guys are rocking it, and let's get to that magic 750 mark, people.
That's
Dude,
right.
Don't sell yourself short. 1,000, bro.
Yeah.
Let's
do
this. Let's friggin' do this.
I do little increments. I do it to certain ones, to 750, and then 1,000 again.
All right.
Yeah, I mean Cyber better get it right here pretty soon because we already worked it out. It's contractually whatnot. If he doesn't get to 1,000 by the end of the month, I got to start giving dudes blowjobs, just random blowjobs, just to get subs for Cyber. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to get to that point, baby.
Hey,
you know
you gotta do what you gotta do, though, man.
I have to buy a lot of mouthwash and shit. You know, like fuck. You know?
Take it like a man, Jeff. Take it like a man.
Jess, you ain't got nothing to say about that, huh? What's up? No.
I was laughing.
Oh, really? See? Now, there you go, Leech. What does that tell you? What does that tell you about Jess, Leech? She won't even laugh. She mutes herself laughing when I make jokes on purpose just because she doesn't want to give me the,
satisfaction.
Yes. Anyways, I'm going to keep on rocking, and I'm going to talk some Andor with Gunnar. But Cybernetic as always, sir, thank you so much for your friendship and for your wonderful moderation. You are a wonderful friend, and you are an excellent moderator, a great co-host. And I still cannot wait to go fucking watch Band-Aid with you and May. We're going to kill it, baby. It's going to be awesome.
Yes, sir.
Can't wait, man. They better fucking play Onset. I'm telling you right now. I'm going to be pissed if they don't play Onset. I can't wait. Gunnar, we're going to see Band-Aid, man. Me and Cyber are going to May, baby.
Nice.
Yep, that's right. We're going to Daytona Beach, baby. What's up? That's right, Leech.
Yep.
Leech don't know about Band-Aid yet. Now, Rich, you don't know either, do you?
All right, no clue. No.
Well, I'm gonna put you on there. Just wait, Rich. All right. Anyways, folks, if you guys want to dip, Rich, if you want to dip, Jazz, if you want to dip, go ahead. Cyber, I know you've got things to do. You probably got to work tomorrow and whatnot.
All right.
Peace out, everybody.
Arrivederci.
We'll see you
Pleasure meeting
Friday.
you guys.
Nice meeting you guys.
Nice
Good
meeting
seeing you guys.
Getting rid of the riffraff. Getting rid of the riffraff.
And now it's just 3, folks. The magic number of 3. One of my favorite numbers, because I love me some threesomes, baby. Just not this type. You know what I'm saying? I actually, the last chick I talked to asked me if I had a bucket list. I said, no, I don't have a bucket list, but I'd like to do a foursome. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm tired of doing threesomes. They're not challenging for me anymore. So just to let you know, folks, that's where I'm at with my shit. Just to be clear. You know what I'm saying? I ain't fucking around. You know what I mean? Like, I'm savage as fuck. So, you know what I mean? I don't even know why I called myself True Knowledge. I should just call myself Savage Knowledge. That would have been, no, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding, folks. But no, Gunnar, it's good to see you back, brother. Leech, thank you for deciding to bless us, my friend. I have been begging you.
I know it's been a while.
I've been bribing him to come on the panel, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was like, Jesus, guy don't like me.
No, you know what it was? You know, I was going through a really, really tough time, and I couldn't devote myself to. I couldn't commit myself to you. But things are better now. I'm in a better place, and yeah. Anytime you got something, Star
Jason,
Wars,
come on, man. Hey, listen, brother. You know, we all, Gunnar, myself, we've all been through our tough places and whatnot and everything. You know what I'm saying, and whatnot and everything. And Gunnar, honestly, dude, there's nothing wrong with you being as positive as you are, brother. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, positivity and optimism is the reason I'm still alive, man. I still have a life.
You know, you say that, but when I saw Last Jedi, I left and I'm like, man, that was so awesome. I loved it. And the next day I was at work and I was talking to someone about it. And he's like, I don't think you liked it. And I'm like, well, I love Star Wars. Like, it took me a minute to like, did I not like it?
Well, wait a minute. I reviewed Thor: Love and Thunder, right? And God bless her soul. You know, Renee Loki's mom is not with us anymore, unfortunately. And I'm not going to talk about that, folks. That's a personal matter between me and her and whatnot and everything. But I still care about her deeply, and we appreciate her contributions to the Bleeding Edge and always will. I don't have a single fucking negative thing to say about her behind her back, and you won't. Any motherfucker that comes out and says I did is a liar. I'll tell you right now, I have a lot of respect for that woman and the contributions, just like Alexis Hania. Appreciate you, Alexis. Got nothing but love for those folks, for those women. But no, at the end of the day, me and Renee both talked on the phone later on, and we're like, we basically both just like, we're too afraid to like really just let loose on like what we really thought of Love and Thunder. You know what I'm saying? Like, MCU Phase 4 was going so bad. There was already so much pessimism and whatnot in the fandom and everything and whatnot, so much negativity and everything and whatnot. We were having negativity. We were having conversations in the studio before shows where shit was getting deep. You know what I mean? Like, you know, we had one show one time where I swear to God, Jason, we started a conversation. I had Lord Deathman come on. You know Lord Deathman, Gunnar, and Renee was on. They just seen Doctor Strange 2. We were doing a Halo episode review. And I asked them both what they thought of Doctor Strange 2. And the conversation off of that, they both were had the same reaction. They were something about Doctor Strange 2 made them both pessimistic as fuck and like afraid of the MCU going forward. Yes. And the conversation got really deep for like 20 minutes straight. Cyber came on and I said, look, Cyber, we're just fuck the topic for the show. This is the show. This conversation is the show. So we just kept rolling. We started the show and we just continued the conversation from the studio right into the show.
That's awesome.
Yep.
That's
what we
great.
did. Gunnar knows I don't care, man. I'll do shit like that and whatnot. You guys fucking going, man. Why not rock with it?
Right.
That's what the Sunday show is for. That's what's my fun show. And that's what Monday's going to become for me here in a minute, folks, just so you know. There'll be a lot of bandmate rashes, I can tell you that right now. But no, bottom line, no. We definitely we didn't want to tear Love and Thunder apart, even though I knew it was garbage. You know what I'm saying? Because honestly, I'm biased towards the MCU. I am. Just like I'm biased against the original 6 Avengers. You guys are more deeply Star Wars fan, oriented than I am. Gunnar, you have a bias, man, towards Star Wars. You can't help yourself. You know, I mean, honestly, like, why do you think the Black Widow film was my number 2 ranked in 2021? My number 2 ranked, release after WandaVision. It's because it's ScarJo, baby. Original 6 Avenger, man. You know what I'm saying? Of course, I had to put her in my top 3.
Yeah.
Just like Guardians of the Galaxy, I just did a ranking last night on a podcast. I had to throw the Guardians of the Galaxy 3 in my top 5. Of what I think could be good out of Phase 5 and whatnot, because you have to. They're what we have left, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
From the core. So no, as far as Andor goes, And as far as the whole thing, what you're going, Gunner. Look, man, Love and Thunder is fucking garbage. It's the worst MCU movie I think ever made.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Ever. No, anybody. I mean, honestly, Thor 2 is 17 times better than Love and Thunder. Yeah,
I disagree about that.
Well, I'm just saying I went easy on it when I reviewed it, and I probably will do it again. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, though, the flip side of that is the Falcon Winter Soldier. I was maybe overly critical a little bit when we reviewed that. I look back now, and I'm like, yeah, without that, we don't get Captain America 4. So, hey, right? So, no, as far as Andor goes, look, Andor is a fucking just a goddamn monster. That first season. Now, I don't know what the hell's going to happen in season 2 each, but I'm sorry, but I'm talking about that whole season is a 10.
Yeah. It was really good because even if it wasn't a Star Wars show, it was still good. You know what I mean? It would still hold up. But the fact that they put it inside the Star Wars universe just made it that much better.
No, Gunnar, you tell me. Why did it take so long for anybody to make something like that? I don't get it.
They're afraid. It doesn't have Jedi and it doesn't have really clones. I mean, it's Star Wars outside of its comfort zone. And I think that's why people are afraid of it. But I think those that love it, that's why they love it. It's because it's a different side of Star Wars that we don't have. That's why I love Rogue One so much. I mean, it was so different. And that last 35 minutes of Rogue One, I'll put up against any Star Wars movie.
Well, why do you think we covered Andor? I'm not even a Star Wars fan. You know that. Like, I rely on you guys for like the backup on that stuff. It's like I rely on Phil with DCU stuff that I don't know to have the knowledge. I'm not afraid to admit when I don't know stuff. It's part of the deal. I'm not gonna lie about it. That's why I have good people around on the shows to back me up. It's a collaboration. It's not, I moderate, but I need my guest, man. You're the show. I'm not the show. I'm facilitating you, right? So you would tell me. Rogue One made me wanted to watch Andor. I thought Rogue One was great. I did. I didn't watch the second parts of the last trilogy from Star Wars. I heard so many bad fucking things from people. I was like, yo, I'm not watching that.
Right.
Hell no. But no, I'm telling you, what the hell was it, Leach? You tell me, Gunnar. What was it? How did they manage to land these actors and actresses that they got for that series? For one thing, how did they get freaking Stellan Skarsgård in that series?
I think because of just being part of Star Wars and being part of that bigger picture. I totally think that, there's actors, legitimate actors that are like fighting for roles in Star Wars, do
you think reading the script probably had something to do with it too?
That didn't hurt.
But yeah, it didn't hurt. Right. I agree, Gunnar. It didn't hurt, but I don't know if I was a legitimate actor, and my love for Star Wars, I'd have played a stormtrooper. You got Daniel Craig played a stormtrooper in The Force Awakens. Kevin Smith played a stormtrooper in The Last Jedi. It's like people who's just jumping at the chance to.
But wait a minute, though. Think about who you're talking about here. We're talking about Stellan Skarsgård, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get where you're going with like Marvel.
I mean, he's in the movies.
Gunnar, that's my point though, Gunnar. In the MCU, that was fan service type thing that he took that role, right? Like that was him fanboying or whatever and whatnot and wanting to participate.
Yeah, but he was in it before the MCU was anything.
No. I know, and you know what? That's why I'm saying at that point, I firmly believe he did that just for fun. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the thing. I know a little bit about Stellan Skarsgård. I do. He's an interesting kind of guy as far as what kind of roles he picks. So what I'm saying is with him, he'd already done MCU, right? He was in a lot of MCU films and whatnot. He still gets referenced now to this day in the MCU. But either way, there had to be something. They had to tell him something about his character. His character was going to have some kind of depth, right? To bring him in there like that and whatnot. And I don't know, man. You tell me. The rest of that casting, the actress that plays Mon Mothma, geez, she is just unbelievable.
Well, she was
in episode 3.
Yeah, Guinevere O'Reilly. She's in episode 3. She reprised in Rebels as well.
Guinevere O'Reilly, man. Jeez, I'm telling you.
She's a great actress. She was on that show Episodes with one of the Friends guys. She was.
I
great.
can't believe they didn't nominate her for an Emmy. To be honest with you, I thought they would.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, honestly, I'm surprised. You know that they did. Gunnar, you know that they did nominate. What's his name?
Diego Luna got nominated.
Yeah, they nominated him for not an Emmy, but for Best Actor. I think for what was it? One of the lesser awards. But still,
Globes?
It was Golden Globes.
yes, yeah, and that's rare. That's rare. That's very rare for anybody, for the Globes, for the Emmys. You know, I mean, don't get me wrong. We had WandaVision, but it's rare for the Academy, for anybody really. You know, unless it's a political angle, like with the kind of with Black Panther or whatever. For you to see them actually nominate an actor or actress in these superhero sci-fi genre type films, they don't usually do that.
Yeah, they don't get the credit they deserve.
No, it's the CGI, they do it, the score, right? All that, right?
Yeah.
But no, Gunnar, so you tell me, I think Andor was just overall so well produced, just from every angle. I mean, again, I'm no expert, but I'm saying every aspect possible. Cinematography, the sound, right? The casting was just excellent. I'm wondering if Sarah Finn had something to do with the casting. Who knows?
You know, she casted Mandalorian.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I mean, you know, like, it wouldn't surprise. I don't know.
And she was a producer on that Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Okay. No, but I'm just saying, whoever, they did an excellent job with the cast. I mean, Bleach, how about the decision to insert circus into the way they did into the show?
Yeah, I was a little weirded out by that, only because he plays Snoke in the in the sequel series. So it gets people wondering, like, is he going to, or are they going to use him to create Snoke? You know, I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of, other than, hey, just turn a blind eye and don't worry that he was in the Star Wars universe already. But
yeah, I didn't like that. Like I said, there's things I didn't like about. I didn't like that they swore. I thought part of the charm of Star Wars is that Star Wars universe has their own swear words. Even before Dank Farrik, you know, they would say poodoo and all this other stuff.
What swear words did they actually use?
Said shit.
Shit.
They said F the Empire also, but
right. They were supposed to say that, but they cut it out.
Yeah.
But you know what though? See, I like that though. Again, as an outside looking in Star Wars fan, it's not as, you know, loyal to the source materials you guys might be. Don't get me wrong. I still have hella love for the original films. You know what I'm saying? I know, you know, like.
And you know, in the original films, Han Solo said, "I'll see you in hell." So, I mean.
Well, there you go. That's what I'm saying.
Out of the ordinary, but it just took me out of it.
Sometimes you got to make a change here and there, and it either works or it doesn't. I'm not saying, listen, look, I'm not saying there's no TV series that's flawless. All right. All I'm saying is just that I give this series a 10 overall, right? Because in general, people who gave up on this series after episode 2, I tell them I beg them, I'm like, please go back and watch. Like, just go back and rewatch it. I'm telling you, it gets better. Like, I swear to you. You know what I mean? Like, I would not bullshit you. You know, I'm not an expert at this and whatnot, but it gets better.
It was better than Obi-Wan, and it was better than Boba Fett, I thought.
Well, I didn't see Obi-Wan yet. I'm going to watch it, though. I am. See, again, this is making me want to watch it.
I didn't hate Obi-Wan. I just thought that Andor was.
Well, what about the episodes themselves, from episode to episode, Gunnar, and then I'll go to you, Jason. From episode to episode, right? What was your take, I guess, Gunnar? Like, what was your highlights as far as, like, you know, which ones were the good ones for you? Was, well, obviously the finale, but I mean, was it the heist? You know?
Yeah, the heist was okay. Yeah, I like the heist. The only thing that kind of, and maybe this is the next question. The only thing I thought that they spent too much time in the prison.
I agree.
Okay.
Besides that, I mean, I loved.
They could have done that in 2 episodes rather than 4.
Yeah.
Or whatever it was.
I mean, I loved seeing Saw Gerrera back. I thought that was pretty cool. I like seeing. I like when you take a series, and you know the ending, so it's kind of you get to go on that journey towards the ending. So I like that. You know, we know the rebellion's coming. We know where Saw Gerrera ends up in Rogue One. How do we get there? How does Mon Mothma get from the senator from Revenge of the Sith to leading the Rebel Alliance and Return of the Jedi? Like, I like seeing that stuff.
Yeah.
You mean like the world building?
Yeah, all that stuff. I like seeing how these characters get from A to B.
Okay, now, Jason, kind of same question to you. Like episodically, what did it for you? If you weren't so fond of the prison, that part of it, whatnot, what did you like?
No, I like the prison thing. I just think they stretched it out a little too long. But I do like the way that the series was broken into like 3 major storylines. It starts off with him and his mom, but they're also building this character who's going to be huge in the Empire eventually. And then what was the middle piece?
The rebel part.
Yeah. And then to the prison where, so it's almost like 3 separate story arcs within one series, which I thought was cool. So you can't really put it on one particular episode. Although there was some key episodes that stood out. But yeah, the finale just got you like hyped for the rest of it. You know what I mean? It's a shame we got to wait 2 years to, see how it all flushes out.
Is that how long we got? 2 years?
Yeah, well, it's about 1.5 years now, but they're actually filming season 2 now. But I like the fact that they have an end date. It's only going to be 2 seasons. You're getting 24 episodes total between the 2 seasons. We know where it's leading into. So the very last episode is going to be like basically the first scene of Rogue One. And that just basically completes the story because we all know how that ends. But
yes, and I like that too. And that's new information to me. I didn't know that until now.
Oh, okay. And it's not going to be filled with fluff. You know what I mean? Because they got a story to tell within the next 12 episodes, which spans a 5-year period. So, you're going to have to like every 2 episodes, you're going to jump a year, or however they're going to make it work.
No, Leach, honestly, man, Gunnar, I mean, I don't like to get into it, whatnot, and I'm not going to. I'm not a complainer or the type to bitch about. But honestly, man, on top of the other bullshit you already know between me and you and Gunnar I have going on and whatnot, this insomnia shit, I still have it. Like, I just got out of the bad stretch of it. You know what I'm saying? But I've got it still, right? Yeah. I'm still in therapy. I'm still working with a sleep disorder specialist every week and whatnot. Like, dude, I'm struggling, man. So, like, you know what I'm saying? So I don't have time. I can't pay attention to what's going on sometimes and whatnot. I'm just trying to get out of bed every day and try to live, man, and get these shows done and shit and whatnot and do my best. That's all I can do. So I try, man, and I'm trying to find more balance in my life. Gunnar, Gunnar knows, and I hope he's happy for me. I'm trying to get out more and whatnot. And I joined a gym. I'm trying to get out and meet more people. I joined some meetup groups and whatnot and everything. I tried to start an MCU one in my local area, but apparently there's not very many passionate Marvel fans around here or something, because they don't seem very enthusiastic about it. But no, I think it's fair, Leach. I wasn't really necessarily, I guess, asking you for like 1 or 2 specific episodes or the highlight of the show or whatever. You're right. It is built into almost like 3 subcategories almost, or whatever. Yeah. And at that point, I guess for me, I loved how they delivered those 3 subcategories or those 3 compartments, or if you want to call them thirds of the series. They flowed. Whether you weren't happy with like the length of the prison deal or whatever and whatnot, which I get.
Yeah,
they did a great job seaming the 3 parts together, I thought.
No doubt.
It worked well for me.
Yeah.
And it felt complete. The season felt complete. So I think it's important that you make that point, that they're only going to have that second season. That's it. They're not going to overdo it and try to like do HBO's going to be The Last of Us and turn it into probably 8 seasons or some shit probably. You know what I mean?
They're going to pound it down your throat and you're going to be sick of it. And then it's not going to be a great series. You know what I mean? Because of that same reason.
Well, we'll see. We never know with HBO Studios. They can do some shit, but no. I mean, honestly, that's what Andor made me feel like, Gunnar. Andor made me feel the same kind of vibe that I've gotten from HBO Studio series before. like The Sopranos, the same kind of like human connective vibe where like I'm so impressed by what I'm seeing out of the series, like Deadwood, like Rome, where I'm just like, this shit's epic to me. Like before the MCU, right? Before there ever was the MCU, before I saw the original Avengers film, and I was like, are you fucking kidding me? This shouldn't even be possible.
Right.
How's this even happening? Like, I didn't even believe this could be done. And you're doing it, and they're doing it anyway. And it's in front of me, and I'm like dying over here. I'm fanboying for the first time in my life. I didn't know I could fanboy. Right. I mean, before there was an MCU, I had to have something else. And Deadwood, and Band of Brothers and The Wire and shit like that. Oz. That was the shit that I was cutting my teeth on, right? Yeah, I was watching Oz and Sex and the City and shit like that and whatnot when I was like 12, 13, 14 years old, man. I grew up on that shit.
Yeah.
Right? No wonder I'm such a nasty, raunchy, grimy motherfucker. Right? But anyways, no, I got the HBO Studios vibe from it just because the acting and the writing was so fucking great.
Yeah.
The storytelling was so great. It was so thick. There were 3 or 4 different speeches in that series. Not one, 3 or 4 different speeches that were so fucking profound and well done that I had random people. I read them to them. Just random people who weren't watching Andor. I was like, listen to this real quick on the phone, friends of mine, other creators. And I would read Stellan Skarsgård's speech from that episode with the spy.
Great speech.
Right?
Yeah.
And I would just read that to them and be like, you tell me you don't want to watch Andor now. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is just one. There's 3 or 4 of these gems in this series. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're this profound. Now, the dynamic between the family with Andor's mother, right? And that robot, that droid. That droid was so great. Right, Gunnar? I mean, seriously, man. I mean, it turns out that he had been a part of the family for generations or whatever and whatnot and everything, right? Like, and you don't find this out until like the 10th episode or 11th episode.
Right.
You don't even realize this stuff, right? That he has these bonds until the end. They did such a great job of timing things, right?
Yeah.
You get where I'm going, Gunnar. It was just so like well done. It kept you on your feet.
Yeah, and there was a lot of emotion with what that droid was going through. They
didn't even need action.
Yeah.
It wasn't even necessary. The acting was so fucking profound and good. When they broke it down to where it was Mon Mothma's character and then Skarsgård's character, Luthen, Rael, and they had that contrast where they were both like, grasping the realization of what it was going to take for them to give up in their souls and shit and whatnot, and like ethically and morally to fight the fucking Empire. Watching them, that duality between the two of them and that final third of the fucking series just blew me away, man.
Yeah.
What do you think, Gunnar?
No, I agree 100%.
That's it. No fucking. I mean,
you summed it up perfectly. I mean, I can't say it much better.
Oh, I know. We just got something to say.
No, I was actually going to say, bro, I need to get up in 4 hours.
All right, man. Yeah, let's get out of here. No, I know, Gunnar. You gotta get up too, man.
Yeah. It's great talking about this stuff, man. I appreciate it.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but that duality, man, between those two.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh my God. I was like, you got to be kidding me. Such great
like they
storytelling.
It's like they have the same goal, but they want to go about it different ways.
They're in different places.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like they're in different positions in the rebellion. They have different pressures, different forces to deal with and whatnot and everything. Yet they're in the same position. Yes. Right? The only difference is that Luthen he's already broken ethically. You know what I'm saying? He's already decided that he's willing to go past whatever line he's got to go past. Right. Mon Mothma has to realize it differently through the vehicle of giving away her own daughter.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's some deep shit, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it compares. And that duality just, oh my God. Tony Gilroy, man. Hats off to you, brother.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
Anyways, folks, look. We're the MCU'S Bleeding Edge YouTube channel and podcast. We are only for adults. And obviously you see why. Because as grimy as we can be sometimes, we can also give you some straight up Chloe Zhao type shit, baby. You feel me? There you go, right there. That's how we do it. That's how we can pull off some Chloe Zhao type shit, baby. So we should get an Oscar just for this conversation.
There you go.
We should get a nomination, right? But no, I mean Chloe Zhao would just like take a shit in a paper bag, and they would give her a nomination and videotape it. But anyways, they call it art or whatever. But anyways, folks. But no, listen. Last of Us, episode 8, Friday night, 9:35 p.m. Eastern. Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. I'm breaking down, previewing Secret Invasion. All right. The Sunday after, I'm doing What If Season 2. The Sunday after, I'm doing fucking Ironheart. Can't wait. My favorite. Can't wait. Love it. Ironheart. Let's do it, baby. Who asked for Ironheart? Don't know. I'm still wondering, but maybe it was Gunnar. Who knows? Gunnar was the one person that begged Kevin Feige to give us Ironheart. Thank you, Gunnar. And then after that, I'm going to probably do the Heart This show. Right after that, if we don't find something else to do, first Monday show of the MCU's Bleeding Edge next week. Could be a shit show special. Probably will be. Who the fuck knows? It might just be crazy. Who knows? But it'll be happening. And besides that, we'll see you next Wednesday for episode 3 of The Mandalorian. And hopefully we'll have Gunnar back. Brother. And Leech will find we got an open spot in the panel for him all through the series. So
hell yeah, man. I'm there.
And Jar Jar will be here too, hopefully.
All right, brother. Had a blast.
Right. Take care, and last thing, folks, shout out to Naomi, one of our team members, one of our actual real staff members and whatnot that couldn't make it tonight. She did a great job getting the show set up and whatnot and everything. Great job, Nay. You're killing it. Great job on the thumbnail and everything you did for the show and all that. You did an excellent job. I just want to give her props, and she'll be on the next show, the next review. But good night, folks. God bless you. And Gunnar, God bless you, brother. So wonderful to have you back on the panel, my friend.
Good to be back.
I know, brother. So just for your, just for you. There you go. Just for you, Gunnar.
Like a doo-doo?
Yeah. Yeah. And don't be ninja. Nobody that don't need to be ninja.
Some of them gonna bomb.
Just like they've bombed in the comics.
What about this guy? You think this guy can make it for the Avengers?
Diamond Days, a ninja teaching flex. Honey, let me see the sign there, honey. Come on in here, ninja. This here's my ninja. Diamond Days Ninja School. Come on down. What we're going to teach you, hold that, Lord. And what we're going to teach you in our first episode is a proper stance and a proper kung fu. And you got your Judy chop, all right? You got your karate chop, and you got your ninja chop. Now, what smart thing to do is like when you use a judo chopping, you gotta say it, for you beginners, like a Judy chop. Because what you don't want to do is like be a Judy chopping and a kung fu kicking, and there goes your leg. There ain't much calling for one-legged ninja out there. Right there, hard as a rock, buddy. Let me show you something. It'll happen last time, baby. Don't put it in front of your face. I don't want to hurt you. You got me? And what we're going to do here, we're going to work on the ninja chops. What we're going to do. You go a ninja chop. Well, now see, now sometimes it don't always work for a ninja, but it practice makes it perfect. Don't go ninja nobody. Don't need ninja. Alrighty? Now them things there, if I was put them in my pockets, that'd get me for concealment of a deadly weapons. It says you got your son fella coming at you out in the trailer park. Regular cannon-backer, you say? No, says I. Watch this, people. Yeah, we just rolling through the trailer park. What's that? What's that fella doing? Ninja start. Right there. That son fella jumps up behind a trailer on you. You got to put them on out yonder like that. And you can't get him caught up in his ninja outfit, And like if a feller's coming at you with...
Dude, that guy lived right next door to me, man.
What the hell was that weapon he pulled out there, DM? Was that a crack pipe? Like,
it looked like a damn skull can or something, didn't it?
Where did you find that?
That guy that he sent that in, that is his interview tape for the Special Olympics Avengers.
That dude don't stand a prayer.
Oh,
that dude.
It's amazing something like that dude's probably popular as hell from that video.
Dude, that guy could beat Kate Bishop's ass.
Alpha Flight will whoop his ass. Puck will whoop his ass. Ninja chopping, man. Fuck a whoop his ass. North Star beat his ass, and that's bad.
I was watching Andrew during that. Andrew just like put his head back and he's like, "Oh
What the hell, man."
I already saw that clip, so I'm like,
I'll take it. Someone will appreciate it. You ever go on, boss? Hey, and I'll give you these flowers for free.
Hey, man, ain't no motherfucking bitch, man. Fuck wrong with you, man.
What you mean, yo?
Idiot, huh? Fuck wrong with you, man.
You just destroyed the
Think I'm
flowers.
soft or something? Fucking bitch. This shit, man. Fuck
Yo, they're just flowers.
Fuck out of here, man. Ain't no bitch.
They're just flowers, bro. I promise you, they're just flowers.
Man, you soft ass motherfucker. Bet you won't come from behind that glass.
What you mean? I'm just saying they're flowers. There's nothing wrong with them.
What the fuck wrong with you, man?
Why you getting so pressed over flowers?
I paid for motherfucking flowers, man. I paid for my fucking Snickers, man. Fuck wrong with you?
Alright. It's just a flower.
Nah, bro.
You don't want it? Nah. Okay. Change. Here's a bag. You have a blessed day, my brother. Yeah, and you can have these flowers. Because I'm feeling generous today.
Some flowers?
Yeah.
What the fuck I need some flowers for?
What you need some flowers for?
Yeah.
I'm just feeling good today. I'm giving my customers flowers.
You think I'm a bitch or something, bro? I don't need no fucking flowers, bro.
What you mean,
I
bro?
don't need no fucking flowers, bro. I'm good, bro.
Why you so mad about just some flowers?
Bro, I'm going home to my female, bro. I don't need no fucking...
Every day of the week. If I hop up on the mic, they gon' play it on repeat. Cash 100 milli check, I get paid just to breathe. Kill it 24/7, cause I slay in my sleep. Lanes pipe down.